There's really no deal that the U.S. Attorney's Office can offer, and it's certainly not one that Diddy will accept. It would involve decades in federal prison. We're talking about mandatory minimum sentences of 10 years for both the drug charges and the sex trafficking.
Another one of rapper Sean Diddy Combs' requests to be released on bail. I remember he's behind bars at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn waiting for his trial to get started next year in May. He's been detained for 2 months on charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, which he's pled not guilty to. Chloe Malas is following this for us. We were waiting for this decision. We got it in now. What do we know?
All right. Well, it's 5 pages. And the takeaway here is that the judge is saying that no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the safety of the community. And that was what New York prosecutors were saying. I was in court twice last week, and I listened to these prosecutors say that he was a danger to the community. And they showed that video, that surveillance video of him from 2016, brutally beating his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura.
What occurs when one of the most well-known figures in entertainment is about to get an incredible sentence of 100 years in prison? The judge in Diddy's case made a daring decision by announcing a fresh trial date, and the most recent development in his legal story has just been revealed, sending shockwaves around the world. With claims ranging from financial crimes to trafficking, Diddy's claimed intentions to manipulate the system or even escape custody have raised millions of dollars in this case, and the stakes are extremely high. Why is the court urging an earlier trial? Is Diddy's power too strong to control, or might this ruling be the crucial element in guaranteeing justice is done? In this video, we're delving deeply into the judge's unexpected announcement as prosecutors intensify their arguments and reveal evidence that presents a troubling image of one of hip-hop's most prominent individuals. The consequences for Diddy's defense and a trial that might alter the balance of power in Hollywood. You won't want to miss a single aspect of this developing drama. So pay close attention, because by the end of this breakdown, you'll understand exactly why the court is acting so urgently and what it could mean for Diddy's future. Breaking news: a judge in Diddy's case is considering pushing for an earlier trial date in a dramatic turn of events. The trial date was originally scheduled for May 7, 2025, but this decision is unprecedented because of growing concerns that, given the seriousness of the allegations against Diddy, including trafficking, coercion, and obstruction, delaying the trial could give Diddy opportunities to manipulate the legal system or possibly escape custody. This decision reflects the court's commitment to ensuring justice is served without delay.
Been able to speak to your son?
What did you say to him when you visited him in court? Is he doing? How are you feeling today?
Breaking news as we come on the air at 3 p.m. Sean Diddy Combs has been denied bail once again. That ruling coming down just moments ago. It is the third time he has been denied bail. Combs' lawyers had argued that he should be released and placed on home confinement. The judge today cited evidence saying Combs is a serious risk of witness tampering and said he has violated regulations in jail. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution.
There are concerns that Diddy's riches and power could interfere with the proceedings, which is why an expedited trial is urgently needed. Prosecutors contend that giving the trial too long time raises the possibility of witness manipulation, evidence suppression, and possible attempts at escape. Considering these dangers, in order to reduce the likelihood of outside intervention, the court is evaluating the advantages of a quicker timeline. This action represents a turning point. By granting an early trial date, the judge is making a strong statement about the judiciary's readiness to adjust to the particular difficulties presented by well-known defendants. Public reactions are already heating up, with many viewing this as a step toward justice in a case that has captured the attention of people all over the world. No amount of money or celebrity status can protect someone from facing punishment. The judge's action was spurred by Diddy's purported escape scheme. Prosecutors have expressed concern over suspicions that Diddy may have been planning an escape from detention, which has led the judge to take Diddy might utilize his vast financial riches and powerful connections to plan a possible escape or take advantage of legal loopholes, according to expedited trial reports. The prosecution's evidence, which indicates that Diddy has previously engaged in behavior suggestive of a flight risk, increased these worries.
He will be monitored by a third-party outside security team. We will put together
any conditions possible in order to make sure that he is not a danger to society, as prosecutors claim. And they also spend a large portion of their brief saying he knew he was under investigation since January and had his attorneys reach out to prosecutors. He gave up his passport. He's been doing everything in his power to be cooperative. He came to New York to surrender himself. And this is not only a fair bail package, and he's been doing the right thing, but what they also suggest is the two judges who denied him bail previously, they were relying on unproven allegations from the prosecution. They're saying he was contacting witnesses, but there's not definitive proof of that. It was actually not as nefarious as they claim. There are people who are reaching out to him. It was regarding the civil lawsuits. So as this now takes its way to a second court, what do you think?
Well, I thought the argument they made the first time they made it was an excellent one. I thought they overcame what is a statutory presumption in these type of cases. The problem they've got now, though, they're in a circuit court, and the circuit court is really going to be looking at whether or not there was an abuse of discretion. And there is a lot of discretion vested in the district court judges, the ones that ruled on this case, to make these kind of bail detention decisions that they make every day. And so while I think it's a really legitimate argument, and there's certainly circumstances that could be put in place that could protect everyone in this case and allow him to maintain his liberty, it's always a difficult task to overcome a district judge's finding on the issue.
Claims of Diddy's history of obstruction, such as utilizing middlemen to influence public opinion and tamper with witnesses, are part of the prosecution's evidence. His extensive network of followers and his prior behavior make the prospect of evasion a real threat. Legal analysts concur that when defendants pose such risks, courts must act quickly to prevent further complications. Prosecutors contend that if Diddy were granted bail, his use of private jets, offshore accounts, and international properties could make it nearly impossible to track him down. In light of these concerns, the judge's decision to potentially move the trial forward reflects a proactive approach to maintaining the integrity of the case. This instance highlights the particular difficulties of bringing charges against well-known people who have the resources to circumvent established accountability systems, the risks of obtaining a conviction, and avoiding bail. Preventing Diddy from obtaining bail is a key component of the prosecution's strategy, since they contend that doing so could endanger public safety and the case itself. Prosecutors have highlighted the gravity of Diddy's charges, which include claims of coercion and trafficking. They argue that granting bail would allow Diddy to continue influencing witnesses and maybe leave the country, making the pursuit of justice even more difficult.
Next tonight, just before we came on the air, a judge in New York denied music mogul Sean Combs' request for bail, saying Combs is potentially dangerous to the community. It's the fourth time Combs has been denied release. He's been in jail since his arrest in September on sex trafficking and racketeering charges, and he's likely to stay there until his trial in May. Combs has entered a plea of not guilty.
All right, we are getting some breaking news right now. ABC News has just confirmed that Sean Diddy Combs was arrested tonight in New York City. Sources say federal agents with Homeland Security investigations took him into custody. The charges are unclear at this time. Combs' attorney telling CNN that we are disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office.
An accelerated trial schedule is thought to be essential to guaranteeing that Diddy is held accountable before a bail ruling is made. Legal experts point out that in high-profile cases like this, delays can provide defendants the opportunity to take advantage of procedural flaws or launch aggressive campaigns to quickly change public opinion. The goal of the court is to reduce these dangers and give each party a fair trial. Diddy's personal destiny is not the only thing at stake in this case. For many, this trial serves as a chance to reiterate the idea that no one is above the law, and it is being keenly followed as a litmus test for how the legal system handles celebrity privilege and accountability. This larger dedication to justice within the courtroom is reflected in the judge's choice to give the trial timeline top priority. The judge's justification for haste, the judge's consideration of an earlier trial date, shows a sophisticated comprehension of the difficulties presented by this well-known case. The judge's rationale revolves upon the necessity of preserving the integrity of the legal system, particularly in view of claims of witness manipulation and possible delays in the proceedings that could jeopardize public trust in the legal system. The court is giving prompt action top priority in order to guarantee accountability. The extraordinary amount of public and media interest surrounding the case is one factor affecting the judge's decision. Postponing the trial could open the door for outside intervention, such as attempts by Diddy's team to change public opinion or influence important participants in the proceedings. By speeding up the trial, the court hopes to reduce these dangers and keep the evidence front and center.
That used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in.
Legal experts have commended the judge's proactive approach, pointing out that cases involving powerful defendants frequently require such measures. By highlighting the significance of prompt proceedings, the judge is establishing a precedent for how the legal system can adjust to the complexity of contemporary high-profile cases. This ruling demonstrates a dedication to equity and openness. Despite the fact that celebrities have privileges, responses from the public to Diddy's trial schedule, Diddy's possible earlier trial date has sparked a lot of debate among fans, detractors, and legal experts. On the one hand, the public supports the judge's decision, with many seeing it as an essential step to guarantee that justice is served.
So this case is about money, power, respect, sex, drugs, and violence. It's important to remember that Sean Diddy Combs is presumed innocent, and we have to separate the civil allegations as well as a court of public opinion to what the criminal case is all about. So Sean Combs was arrested last week and charged on 3 federal counts: racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation with intent to include engage in prostitution.
On the other hand, some wonder if speeding up the trial timeline will affect the fairness of the proceedings, especially for Diddy's defense team. With users speculating about the ramifications of this decision, social media platforms have turned into a focal point for contentious discussions. A hurried trial, according to critics, might jeopardize the thoroughness of the investigation, opening the door for appeals or accusations of bias. Supporters argue that Diddy's alleged history of obstruction and the seriousness of the accusations against him warrant the court's urgency.
Sean Diddy Combs was accused in a lawsuit Thursday of subjecting R&B singer Cassie to a years-long relationship that included beatings and rape. Cassie, whose legal name is Cassandra Ventura, alleged in the suit that Combs brought her into his fast-paced and drug-fueled lifestyle not long after she met him and signed to his label when she was 19 and he was 37 in 2005. Combs' attorney denied the allegations. Ventura said that after years in silence and darkness, she is ready to tell her story.
The public's reaction highlights the case's high stakes, not only for Diddy but also for the larger legal system. As the trial schedule develops, it will be interesting to see how this ruling will affect how the public views justice and accountability. This case has undoubtedly become a hot topic for discussions regarding the relationship between justice and celebrity privilege, as well as what an earlier trial might mean for Diddy's future. In Diddy's case, the prosecution and defense face both substantial opportunities and challenges due to an accelerated trial timeline. Given the amount of evidence and public scrutiny surrounding the accusations, the shortened timeline may make it more difficult to mount a comprehensive strategy. Additionally, it may limit their ability to the narrative of the prosecution successfully. For the prosecution, although an earlier trial could be a benefit, their case is well-founded on the momentum created by recent revelations and public outrage. By moving quickly, they can stop Diddy from using his resources to influence the proceedings or escape accountability. Legal analysts suggest that the judge's decision to expedite the trial reflects a broader effort to ensure that justice is served promptly and decisively. The implications of this move extend beyond Diddy's personal fate. If convicted, the high-profile nature of the case could lead to harsher sentencing, as courts often respond to public pressure in cases of significant notoriety. Furthermore, this trial is likely to set a precedent for how celebrity cases are handled in the future, shaping discussions about privilege, accountability, and the role of the legal system in high-stakes scenarios. I appreciate you watching.